So I thought I'd talk about how I first got involved in owning a property. So I was 18 at the time, and I had been saving for a few months, years, on and off, never really stuck to over £1,000. I ended up having to focus for 7 months to get a house due to personal reasons. When I ended up getting this house, I saved that for them 7 months around £1,400 a month. I was on £20,000 a year at the time. It wasn't a massive wage. Obviously it was for my age. I was 17, 18. It was good wage for my age at the time. And every penny that I saved went into just an ISA. I ended up getting the 25% bonus off the government, which I believe upped the amount that I had to, I believe it was around £11,500 in total. I ended up putting down £4,500 for the down payment, which was 5% of a £90,000 house. I did it on a residential mortgage, and at the time, I'm a bit annoyed that I didn't stick to it for a bit longer on the length of the fixed mortgage, but it was on a 2-year fixed mortgage on, I believe, about 2.9% at the beginning of COVID, which, looking back on it, is devastating considering that the rates now are between 3.5%, very good rates on, compared to a 5%, which is probably about average. It's obviously dependent on the amount of a loan to value you have on the property. But I put £4,500 down. I believe it was about £1,100 on soliciting fees. I didn't have to pay stamp duty because it was the first property that I'd owned, and that was it. That was literally it. For less than £6,000 I was owning a property at 18. But there was a few things to it which you don't really think about at that age, or even in your early 20s if you haven't got an idea of owning a property, is my credit score. I am lucky in the fact that I have been paying my own credit bill since I was 17 on my phone bill. So I have been building that up slowly. I also opened a Capital One. It was a £200 credit limit credit card about 8 months before I bought the property. So my credit was, I believe it was just fair. It wasn't good, it wasn't excellent, it was just fair. But it allowed me to be able to get onto the property market and get approved for a mortgage, which was great for me at the time. And that's how I ended up getting my first property. It wasn't £30,000, £40,000 that a lot of people believe it is. If you can find a property now, which is a 2-bed terrace in the area that I'm in, you're probably looking at about 110 to about £150,000. If you're able to get it on a 5% mortgage, you could end up owning a property for less than £10,000. And your mortgage will most likely be around £550 to £700 maximum. I don't know why the idea of it's not possible for a lot of people to save and to be able to get a house unless it's 10 years down the line has came about. I understand that a lot of people are renting and that the amount that they can save on a month-to-month basis is quite low, but it isn't as unattainable as people think when they think it's £30,000. That is what's came up. Most times I've had conversations with people in the past, and when they've asked me about how I ended up getting a property at 18, is, oh, I don't have £20,000, I don't have £30,000. It's not needed. You can get in low on a 5% mortgage. Yes, the rates might be a bit higher, but that doesn't mean that it's not worth it. If you look at the average returns in the UK, you're looking at about 5 to 6% a year. It will grow. Obviously there's been points where it's dropped a little bit when you look at the 2008 financial crisis and things along them lines, but on average, owning a property and being able to increase 5 to 6% of your property value while paying off between 1 and 1.5% of the mortgage every year, you're paying towards your future. It is 100% worth it to get on the property ladder as soon as possible. And I think a lot of people have kind of said to themselves that everyone else says it's not possible to get on the property ladder anymore. It is. It really is.